How do party leaders get their job? During a provincial election, most of the attention is on a handful of people, the leaders of the major political parties. They'll make big speeches, participate in debates, and announce campaign promises. If a party wins a majority of seats in the legislature, the leader of that party will almost certainly become the Premier of Ontario. But who are the party leaders and how did they get the job? Canada initially inherited the British parliamentary tradition. Party leaders were chosen by the elected members from that party and nobody else. You could be a party member, donate time and money, and vote for your party at election time, but you had no say in the party leader. That changed in 1919. The federal Liberals were badly split over the issue of conscription in World War I. Then, Wilfrid Laurier died, and they had to pick a new leader who could unite the party. They adopted an idea from the United States, a delegated convention. Party members voted for delegates from their riding, and those delegates met at a convention to choose the party leader. This worked. The Liberals reunited under William Lyon Mackenzie King, who would go on to win the 1921 election and, with a few interruptions, was Prime Minister for over 20 years. Delegated conventions were the norm in Canadian politics until the 1990s. In Ontario, the change started with the Progressive Conservatives, who needed a new leader after their 1987 defeat. Delegated conventions, the thinking went, were a bit odd. Delegates held a huge amount of power. Also, these conventions were often long and expensive. So the Tories, strapped for cash, let party members vote directly for leadership candidates. No delegates and no expensive convention. It wasn't perfect. The ridings were weighted, meaning that votes in less populous ridings could be worth more than votes in ridings with tons of members. But it worked out for them. Mike Harris won that contest and went on to win the 1995 and 99 elections. Every major party in Ontario has since adopted some kind of one-member, one-vote system. The last delegated leadership convention in Ontario was the 2020 Liberal Convention right before COVID lockdown started. Steve and I were there, and it was kind of weird.
No. Delegated conventions? That's the way to go, John Michael. Too long, too expensive, too bad. They're the best way to pick a new leader. Don't listen to him. He doesn't know what he's talking about here. Everybody's all about the democracy behind one person, one vote. One person, one vote for 1 minute and nobody cares. There isn't really a lot of oomph behind their commitment to their party. You can be an instant Liberal or an instant Tory. Vote and that's the end of it. People who showed up for delegated conventions, they would stay for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, sometimes even longer. At a delegated convention, people show up to the ballot box, they vote. Then, depending on the outcome of that first ballot, this is when the fun begins. You get the arm twisting. You get the trying to convince somebody to come over to your candidate. You get the drama on the floor. There's an actual dynamic in the convention hall as to what's going to happen next. You don't get any of that with one member, one vote. It's just not the same. So I say, and I know it's never going to happen, bring back the delegated convention. Too long? Maybe. Too expensive? Maybe. But too much fun? Always.
Like he said, it's never gonna happen. Thanks for watching this episode of Nerds on Politics. If you have questions about provincial politics, you can find me on X at @JM_McGrath. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe and click anywhere around me for more helpful explainers. We'll see you next time.